play the part, smiled on the outside, but it tore you apart. They gave you the label before they asked your name. You carried the silence, and they called it shame. You thought it was you, but it never was. You were adapting to a world without pause. The system never asked what hurt, never asked what was real, only taught you to behave and to bury what you feel. But now you see the cracks in what they called home. Now you rise from what they stole. They gave you the script before you could speak, told you to sit still even when your body screamed. Your child is not broken, they reflect in your fight, and you are the one who will turn on the light.
This isn't defiance, it's memory. This isn't dysfunction, it's a nervous system trying to survive. This isn't a phase, it's your soul saying, I was never the problem.
The system never asked what you knew, what you carried inside. But now you remember, you were never meant to hide. This is your voice, this is your truth, this is your return to the root.
You were always there, beneath the silence, beneath the stare. Not a fault, not a flaw, just a child who saw too much too soon in a world gone wrong. But now I see you, now I breathe you, and I'm ready to come back home. The diagnosis tried to define, but you were never that thin line. You were the dance, the song, the ache, that nothing scripted could ever fake.
You are not a file. You are not a failure. You are not a problem to fix. You are a memory worth returning to, a rhythm worth rebuilding, a soul worth remembering.
You were always there, I just forgot to care, for the voice beneath the rose, for the root beneath the gold. Now I hold you, now I know you, you were always whole.
Wow, welcome. Welcome back. This is our wrap up circle for the Return to Roots Summit. I'm so excited to be here with our coaches. Some of our coaches couldn't make it today. Of course, they have lots going on, they're busy working, but many of them, again, made the time to be here so they can share what they were talking about in their presentations and talks for this summit. So I'm excited to bring them and wrap up this conversation. But before we go, I do wanted to share with you what was the purpose of the whole summit. And this whole story arc behind the summit was to share with you the 7 MC systems that has helped condition us, shape us into who we are today. And that has sometimes made us suffer, struggle, challenges, feel like we're boxed in, burned out. That's also causing our children to feel the pressure, parents to feel the pressure, educators to feel the pressure. So that's why this unrooted generation is what I call. That's the feeling we're all feeling, right? So that's why the summit became big part of our life as coaches who work with families and students. So I wanted to bring our first coach who was on day 1. Before that, I will share the keynote speaker, which was Dr. Cecilio. He was here about the body never lies, the biology beneath the emotional collapse. So we've talked about the 7 MC systems. Now we're going to go at the end. I want to reveal to you the 12 my systems that, as a holistic neurogrowth learning success coaches who are certified in blocks to flow coaching, they are all trained to offer that 12 systems, implement them, and see where the block is and carry each person into flow. That's what they do in their practice. So Dr. Cecilio's presentation was amazing, connecting what we do from a doctor's perspective and how it affects who we are and how we show up and how it has been affecting us. And for many years, a lot of us are not aware of it. All these systems and what drive us internally, we're not even aware, or we never got education on it. So I wanted to bring him for that reason, to show us how the biology and how our internal system is responsible for how we function, how we deliver results, produce performance, right? It's so important that he was here to deliver that. Next, we have our coach Molly. She wasn't able to make it here. So her talk on day 1 was about when the light go out, the truth about shutdown. She talked about shutdown isn't a failure, it's the nervous system protecting itself. So looking at it as a protection. With the right tools, we can shift from freeze to flow and help our children or ourselves move from chaos into calm. Molly is an amazing coach, again, certified in blocks to flow. She can take anyone who is stuck or burned out or stuck thinking that they cannot move forward in life or in their job. She actually helps children and adults move through that. So she's not able to be here. She did offer many gifts during the summit. Make sure to check out our magazine, Parenting, Living, and Learning magazine. We have all the information about Coach Molly inside that. Next, we have Coach Melissa. She is here. I'm going to bring her up. I know she was here. Saw her. There she is. Welcome, Coach Melissa. So tell us, what were you sharing on day 1? Last Monday, you shared about meltdowns, muting, and the silent. You said cry for help, hope.
Yes. One of the most powerful takeaway ideas from my talk was that despair doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like rage. And what we often call defiance or bad behavior is a nervous system that's saying, this is too hard to hold all alone. And this idea shifts everything for me. Instead of asking, how do I fix the behavior? I began asking, what is the behavior telling me? And this simple reframe not only helped me, but it helped the parents and other teachers to release the guilt that they were feeling or that they felt like they were failing. And it also helped the student be released from feeling shamed, um, freedom from being called lazy and dramatic or defiant. It unlocked an understanding that beneath the meltdown or the muting or apathy, there's a silent cry for hope. When students are unaware of their nervous system signals or their traffic light, they're blocked and they can't move into flow because they don't feel safe enough to try. By learning to read those signals of their body and beginning to create an awareness, that opens up a possibility of choice. So once we see that despair doesn't need solving, it needs to be seen, it needs our presence, everything shifts. And
Sorry, there's a mute. Can you guys hear her? Nope. I think the internet's slowing down. Can you guys hear me? Yes, in the backstage? Okay, so it's not me. That's good. So Melissa will come back. So Melissa's has contributed an article in our magazine. So Coach Melissa's magazine article is the link we provided during the summit. But if you haven't got it, it's on our YouTube channel. And if you email any of these coaches or find them on the social
stop battling
media,
behavior.
She's back.
Okay.
You were stuck for a little bit, but that's okay. It happens, right? It happens. We can control internet, right? That's how we work. So here we are. We're back again. So you were telling us, finish your sentence because you were gone for a little bit.
At the end, I was saying that once we see that despair doesn't need solving, it needs to be seen, it needs our presence, everything shifts. And then we stop battling behavior and start building safety.
Beautiful. Thank you, Coach Melissa. So you gave away a gift. I'm not sure if somebody claimed that or not, but they can reach you. I was just telling them that you contributed an article in our magazine, the special edition for the summit. They can connect with you to claim that gift as well, is what I was saying while you were gone.
Oh, absolutely. And no, all of the gifts have not been claimed. But I would also love to hear any comments or get any questions that anybody might have. Please email me. I'd love to communicate.
Yeah, and Melissa, Coach Melissa is on all Facebook, LinkedIn. You can connect with her on LinkedIn. She's there as well. I've also reposted some of her posts. Through me, you can find her as well. So find all the coaches. They're available to work with your family and help you. And they have some amazing gifts. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then I'm going to go for my next coach. Coach MC is here. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm playing like a little game here to find everybody. Where are they on the list? The back room here, audience. I have to find Coach Melissa. She's not. Okay, there we go. I found her. It's a game. It's a game. I'm playing a game here. There she is. So Coach MC was talking about too tired to try. What burnout in kids really means, right? So we talk about adult burnouts, but you really went to talk about kids also have burnout. So tell us, what was your talk about last week?
Yeah, so my talk really kind of showed how burnout, whether it's for adults or for kids, first it looks different, but also it's really not a character flaw. It's like really your body's way and your nervous system's way of crying out for help. It's saying like, I'm done with this, when the little whispers accumulating from a very long time of I need help have gone unnoticed, and there's a point where it's too much and your battery is just depleted completely. And I think one of the key point of my talk was to really remember and realize that rest and safety, to be able to be yourself and share what's going on for you, and compassion, whether it's compassion from others towards you or compassion from yourself to yourself, is really essential. It's not just an extra thing that we can have if sometime. It's really essential for us to thrive, and it's essential for everyone, for adults and for kids. And so it's not about being perfect. It's really just about being present to what's going on and really realizing that sometimes what we really need is to stop pushing and to really allow for a pause and to allow our nervous system to really come home and feel safe again. And by pausing and creating that space is when I use the analogy of an iceberg, where a little bit like what Melissa shared, like a lot of the behaviors that we see on top of the iceberg, whether it's, laziness in my sense, like my burnout that I explain in kids usually will show up as laziness or looking like you're unmotivated. Perhaps you're disrespectful, to you're like withdrawn, maybe defiant. That's what's at the top of the iceberg. But when we really take time to look through the lens of compassion and care and presence and really understanding what's underneath, is where we see a lot of stress and burnout for various different reasons. And that explains what's going on. And so from that place, we realize that those behaviors are really communication and not meant to intend with intention to be like bad. And through the arc of the block to flow, awareness is really the first step before we can then move on to alignment and reset our systems to then be able to activate and make things all work properly so that we can achieve the results that we want. And so that is really the first point. And I think that's the most important part of my talk, to just take time to become aware of what's really underneath the behaviors that we see and reframe them in a softer kind of lens. And so, yeah, I had a giveaway for the free deep dive into your nervous system awareness. And so I have given one away already, but I do have another one available for anyone who would like to reach out for me. And so I have my information all in the magazine, along with the article that I wrote that will bring you to my website and my email address. So whether it's for that or for some other questions you may have, I had created a handout about the summary point of my talks, but also more deep actions and tips that you can apply for yourself and with your children on a daily basis. So that's also available. So if you reach out to me, I can send that to you and perhaps enter into a draw for another 5-day discovery for free.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And she's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, right? Correct? Instagram as well? Yes. Yeah. So you can reach out to her there, or our magazine, her article's there, all her information is there. Make sure to grab her free offer as well and her download. So thank you, Coach Melissa, and Coach Betsy, for coming.
I can also do this in French for those of you who speak French.
Yes, there's a few people here who are French. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring our next coach. This is interesting. I'm operating all. This is by, oops, no. Put it back. Okay, we have Coach Lori. I'm going to find her in all of our coaches here. There, I'm getting better as the time passes. There's a lot of coaches behind the scene, and I got to go find them by square, so it's not easy. That's why you need a producer. Okay, so welcome, Coach Lori. Your talk last week on day 1 was "The Future Feels Unsafe." The future feels unsafe, understanding dread in young minds. Tell me a little bit more about what you shared with us.
So I think when a young person, or anybody actually, experience dread about the future, they're not just voicing a thought, they're communicating just a feeling of unsafety. And it can present itself in a lot of things. We try to cheer them up, and those things don't really work. You can't cheer somebody up who is living in a state of dread, of fear, anxiety, and that's really what it presents itself as, fear and anxiety. what we can do, and I think that the other speakers have also talked about this, is be aware of where we're at, be aware of how our children feel, and just be aware of where they're getting these feelings from. uh, one of the things that we can help with this pervasive dread is limit exposure to social media, limit exposure to the news, limit exposure to even how you're speaking. Um, in front of your children, and you're thinking that they're not listening or that they don't care, but they know. They always know. And if they don't know, then they pick it up. It's just much like humans and people, animals. We feel when somebody is off. And children are especially good at this, animals and children, because they have no filters, and they don't have any way of protecting themselves. Some of the things that we want to do is that we want to validate their experience. We don't need strategies. We just need validation. We just need to be there. We just need to, if they say, hey, I live in Hawaii. So if they say, can a tornado hit us? Unlikely. Because we live in Hawaii. And so you can validate that, say, yes, tornadoes happen, but we live here and it's not going to happen here. And the other thing is that we just prioritize nervous system regulation, is that we really, it's not really a strategy to learn how to breathe. It's a life skill. That we learn how to breathe, that we take a moment to relax, that we allow our kids to take that moment, that we allow our kids to process what they hear and what we tell them. So it's just about taking a moment, and that we're always creating a sense of safety and predictability for them. And it's just being aware and being open for our kids. So here's what we realize about dread, is that we can control it. Be aware of the triggers, environment, how you react. And I know I'm very reactive, so I'm really careful how I react when I'm in front of kids or even in front of people. The other thing that I thought about too is, what if we didn't treat dread like defiance, but as a signal? That's a signal, I just can't do this anymore. I just don't want to do it. The world feels too big and I'm too small. And what does it matter? And so dread is not disobedience. It is disorientation, and it can be named, held, and restored. And then the last one, is that we can regulate the nervous system, and we can help our child regulate their nervous system. So as adults, it is up to us. And if you're an adult that is suffering with dread and anxiety, that there are ways to regulate your nervous system, and that there are ways to become more aware of why we feel the way that we do. And so my offer is still open. I still have a few spots left. Is that there is that 5-day free coaching, and we do start off with basically just an informative, getting to know you type of questionnaire, so that I can call you and then we can really talk about what you feel, and what you want, and what you want it for your child or for yourself. And then we do 5 days of just discovering of who you are and why you feel this way, and some of the key points of being aware again of how you and I can work together to help each other.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. And also Lori's information is in the magazine. She also have given us an article and all her information's there. Also, you can find her on LinkedIn, Facebook. She's very active on those channels. So reach out and make sure to get her free gift. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So the next coach I have is Judy, Coach Judy, and she's not here. She wished she would be here, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. But it's okay, Judy. She was talking about checked out, not broken, when numbness becomes protection. So detachment is in apathy. It's a survival response to overwhelm. When we meet it with curiosity and compassion instead of correction, our children feel safe enough to check back in, is what she was in her talk shared with us. And she is also an amazing coach who uses the blocks to flow, and she, I believe, also gave some gifts on that day. And I'm sure if she was here she could tell us if anyone has grabbed those gifts. If not, I'm sure she can provide something else for you. So make sure to connect with her. Again, Judy is also on LinkedIn, Facebook. Our coaches are always on all socials, most of them. So you can connect with them that way, or in the magazine is the best place, or the journal that I provided also has their information if you go under day 1. So that is day 1. So as you can see on day 1, if I go back, starting with Dr. Cecilio, we actually went through the awareness. Most of the coaches today used when they came into this talk about the day 1, they were talking about the awareness. Awareness is the first step towards any change. Without awareness, we cannot figure out what's going on, right? So these 7 the MC systems, play a huge role in feeling the block. And then we have to make sure that we understand and bring that awareness. Otherwise, as Coach MC was saying, it's like an iceberg. We don't know what's underneath. We have to go for a deep dive. That's why we do the exploration with every new family and students when we work with them, because we want to explore and discover what's going on. And that starts with awareness. Now we're going to go through day 2. Day 2, we had Gina Riley. She was our keynote speaker, and she's all about intrinsic motivation. She's an educator. She trains teachers in New York. She has been writing about it, talking about it, and she has unschooled her son, and she was the first few moms to even start the unschooling. So she has several books out. She's been on my summit. This is her 3rd time being on our summit, and she shared some exciting research that has been conducted for intrinsic motivation. And finally, we ended up by saying how intrinsic motivation is like almost the prerequisite to flow. Because if we don't have that intrinsic motivation, flow is not possible. So I loved how she concluded that. So thank you, Gina Riley, for coming and being part of our summit. Then we had our coach, Kristen. I know she is here. Now I'm gonna have to find her. There she is. No, wrong person. See, this is hard because there's so many boxes. So perfect. I found Kristen. It's like going for a hunt, with these boxes. Welcome, Kristen. Thank you.
Hi.
And share with us, what was your topic and what did you tell us on day 2?
Yes, I got to share my talk, which was titled Cost of Not Being Heard, Reclaiming Voice in a Loud World. And really at the heart of this session was disempowerment. And if you got to hear the talk, I did share this insight, but I just want to share it again because I just think it's so powerful. Voice is not just something we use, it's something we reclaim. Mm-hmm. And reclaiming our voice means we have to shift the way we measure its strength. It's not about the volume, the length, or the complexity of it. The true strength of it comes from direction and purpose. When our voice is aligned with who we are. And I think this really unlocked something that was truly powerful. I demonstrated some conscious breathing and thoughtful reflection and some purposeful pauses. And through mindful reframes, we can really reset and realign. And when we hold on to, many of us have these inherited beliefs or patterns, our grip can get really tight and our voice gets stifled and we can become silenced. But a reminder, our voice was never meant to broadcast more noise. It's meant to affirm our identity. It's our compass. So I wanted everyone to just recognize this was an alignment moment inside our Blocks to Flow journey. We saw that our voices didn't feel worthy, not because of a lack of confidence, but because our nervous system was misdirected. And when we bring it back into alignment, our voice becomes clear, strong, and true. I already had one person take an offer, but I'd like to make one more offer for the free 5-day rhythm and roots journey. It's going to be a very powerful journey to just uncover the rhythm, clear blocks, and spark learning flow.
Thank you, Kristen, Coach Kristen. And her information is also on the magazine. She also has an article, and Kristen is also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can find her anywhere as well. So thank you, Kristen, for coming back, taking the time to be here today. Thank you so much. Next, I have our coach, Allison. She wasn't able to make it, but Allison is also very powerful in her talk. But I also want to honor her because she was behind the scene as a team member as well for making it all possible, getting everything ready, because one person cannot do everything, right? So we had the producer I thanked, but last time when I was wrapping up, I forgot to say thank you to my team members. So Allison is one of our team members, and she had a very hot topic, which was the label slide, finding a child beneath the diagnosis. I know a lot of parents take those diagnoses and feel left lost at the end of it, because now what, right? I always ask that question myself. Now what? We have this, but we still have to find out who that child is. So that's exactly what Coach Allison is dedicating her business, and what she does in her business is really finding what's beneath those labels and help families find flow in their life and find flow for their child. If you're interested in her gift, I remember her giving away some gift as well, and she had a download, I think, if I'm correct. Please do reach out to her. Again, she's on all socials as well. Again, in the magazine, I have all her information. Please, if you don't have the magazine, DM me, because you are all watching across all platforms today. So DM me in one of those, and I will get her to send you the download or any of the gifts that we're talking about today. Next, we have Coach Ruth. I know she is here. I can find her faster now. So welcome. So what was your talk about, Ruth?
My talk was about dysfunction in your children is actually a brilliance. And for me, dysfunction is brilliance without direction. Okay, so as a parent, as an educator, as a coach, my job is to help find that direction and help you find that brilliance in your child. You know, the child that can't sit, the naughty kids. They're not naughty. They're just, their nervous system is just, they're protecting themselves. Their dysfunction is protecting themselves from whatever's going on. And it's my job to help you figure that out. So it's awareness first as a parent. These are things I wish I had known about. I talked about my son, Alex, who was considered dysfunctional. So awareness. And then on this day, it's about aligning the kiddos, right? Because that's all it is. You know, your kid might be up here and you're getting all these conferences and phone calls and stuff. And all we need to do is bring them here, bring them back into alignment. So it's a reframing for me. It's helping parents, educators, teachers, whoever, reframe that thought of dysfunction and look at that child's brilliance. Because everything in their brain, they're brilliant. Unless there's again, guys, unless there's a special diagnosis from an MD or, you know what I'm just saying, kids that look naughty in school, they're just misaligned and they're misunderstood. So that's my job as a coach, to help you align your child. And you know what? Your household's going to feel better. Your classroom's going to feel better once you have that awareness. And then the tools will bring them into alignment. It's life altering, so to speak. It really is.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a very important reminder.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that. And did you offer something to our audience last time?
I had an ebook that I've had a couple people reach out to, and I've sent them the ebook. So again, if you want my ebook, email me, call me. If you just want to chat, I've got my phone number out there. We can chat and see if there's anything else I can do to help you get your child in alignment. Yeah, I'm here for you.
Yeah, to see their child's brilliance.
Yes, they're all brilliant, guys. They're all brilliant. It might not look like it, and they might not be those A students, but I promise you there's brilliance within their brains. They've got brilliance in there.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And again, Coach Ruth also has an article in our magazine, and all her information is there. I'm going to keep repeating that. It's in our article. You got to get our magazine. It's a bi-monthly magazine. We want you guys all of you to subscribe to it, and we release them. And always there's wisdom from all of our coaches, and it's absolutely free, and it's high quality. We don't put anything that's not going to work.
Can I just say one more thing, Kohila? That
yes,
guys, for a magazine to be free, and the information and the help for a parent is just reach out, get it, read it. It's not gonna be a waste of time. I promise you that. I promise you.
Yeah, there's a lot of neuroscience-based tips and hacks and all sorts of things that are already used and proven, which is important because you can find a lot of it online, but this is used and proven by our coaches, so we actually test them. So thank you, Coach Ruth. So the next person I have who's not here is Coach Andrea, and she said to us on that second day that control doesn't equal connection. Why power fails and presence heals. So control may win compliance, but presence creates safety, and safety is where trust, respect, and growth truly begin. When we lead from calm instead of power, we don't just correct behavior, we restore connection. So that's what she means by control does not equal connection. Again, if she wasn't busy, she would be here for you guys because she loves serving families and students, and she shared some personal stories as well. If you haven't watched her talk, it's on our YouTube channel, and it's also free. You can watch it at your own convenience. And she also offered some gift, I think. And if she still has it, reach out to her. Her information is also in the magazine, and she's also on all socials. So you can reach out to Coach Andrea. Next, we have Coach Becky. She's also not able to come today, but she talked about what we don't see, they carry. Who are they? Our children, right? What we don't see, they carry. So Coach Becky revealed how the unspoken emotions we carry, shame, fear, perfectionism, or even trauma, are silently passed down to our children as emotional inheritance. Her message was clear. When we name and release what we've carried, we break the cycle and give our children the freedom to grow without the weight of our unspoken pain. So how many of us feel sometimes that I'm transferring this pain to my child without me even wanting to, right? So that's what her talk was about. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it today, but she'll be on our podcast later. Watch her. She is going to be on many of our things coming soon. But again, she is also a certified Blocks to Flow coach. She uses how to take someone from being blocked all the way to flow and uses the 5A system that we have created. So to reach out to her, again, her article is in the magazine. She's also on all socials. Thank you, Becky, Coach Becky, for your contribution. And then we have now Lisa. Coach Lisa is here. You're muted. Can't hear you yet.
All right, Paul, can you hear me now?
Awesome. Yes, awesome.
All
Tell
right.
us, what was your talk about on the
So
second day?
mine was called Pass Down Pain When Kids Hold What They Can't Name. So it was really about displacement, which is how unprocessed adult pain often shows up in our kids and their behaviors. And it doesn't have to be a huge traumatic event. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes it's smaller things and pressures that we feel that we put on ourselves that then go into our children unintentionally. So my message was really simple, but it's one that is so important. Our children don't need us to be perfect. They don't need us to be healed. They just need us to be healing and to be present.
Beautiful.
So a lot of times, like our kids' behaviors, they might seem like defiance or a meltdown or a tantrum, but a lot of times it's just them responding to what they don't understand because they're carrying something that wasn't really theirs. So one of the tips that I'd offered for parents is that when your child is having a moment, and when it's those hard parenting moments, we all have them, is to regulate and ask yourself, am I responding to their emotion or am I reacting to it? And then the mantra that I whisper to myself is, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be present. Because whatever reaction I think of in that moment is probably not going to be the most effective one. Just my presence is what we need. So my talk, sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, it's perfect. Beautiful. Keep
so
going.
my talk was a lot about kind of the awareness part of the Blocks to Flow journey. Is we have to be aware of our behavior, our emotions, ourselves, so that our children can be aware, so that our children can be free of that. So noticing what's misaligned between grandma, mom, child. Healing also gets passed down. So when I make a mistake, I apologize to my daughter and I explain and I say what I'm doing about it. And now I'm starting to see her mirror that back to me. So that is now what's being passed on. But we have to be aware of those things. So what I did open up another offer for another free month of Blocks to Flow coaching for a family. But this has to be for parents who are willing to hear hard truths that their children might mirror about things that they might need to go find resources and help and work on. So I again, just like everybody else, my information is in the magazine. I'd love to chat. I'd love for you to be that next family that I work with, or just have a conversation. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. And you can find Lisa, Coach Lisa, on all socials as well. So yes. DM her, message her, and find her. Thank you, Lisa, so much. Thank you. So that was day 2. And then we went on to looking at that 7MC system. So the mass consumption is all about the food. And we know that how healthy or unhealthy the food is these days, right? So it's as we look through these, I kept saying throughout the whole summit that this is not about blaming anybody. This is not pointing it that you're bad, that's bad, or that's them. We're just going to take accountability to ourselves, be the person that does something about it. And all these coaches here are of that nature. We just pointing out that these are some things that affect us and our performance and productivity and all of it, but then we are not aware of it. So the thing that was happening throughout day 1 and 2 was really the awareness of the mass consumption, mass compliance, which is the education system we built, knowingly or unknowingly. That's what was created at the consciousness of that time. And then we have the mass correction, is the healthcare, which is offering just surface level treatments versus getting to the root causes of it, which is now affecting a lot of people. And then the mass conditioning is the society. You got to be like this, you got to be like that, right? So, and then we have the mass control, the parenting. There's so many different type of parenting. What's the right type of parenting that I should implement, right? It's always a question for parents. And then mass captive is the media, that we're all they're all fighting for our eyeballs, right, and our attention all the time. And then the mass connection, we're so connected that we are so disconnected, is a statement many have used. So all of this is to bring awareness that these exist. And this is why when we say we need to perform, we need to produce, we need to be productive, it feels hard and we feel blocked. No blame, just awareness, so we can ask great questions and get curious how we can get into flow. So I did bring in scissors that day because we need to know that when we start naming these and what's holding me, as we went through each of the conversations we had with our coaches, we can cut the strings because you are the one holding the scissors. Even though you may be attached to a string, feels like it, and may feel like a puppet, like what can I do, then that becomes hopeless, helpless. But if you know you have the scissors, you really can cut whenever you become aware. And that was day 2. Big part of day 2 was that complete awareness of what's really blocking any of us here, right? Then we went into day 3, and then the keynote speaker for that day was Ann Moss, and she brought tears to all of our audience because she did lose her son. She shared about that. She's openly sharing about that in many of her keynotes around the United States, and I think she's also global. But she is also a suicide prevention speaker as well. So she talked about raising mentally healthy kids in a digital world. And she talked about how she thought, her son was growing up normal, and how it became very quickly that he wasn't able to cope, and alcohol and all of that got him, and she lost him. So she has now made that a purpose. And being a suicide survivor myself, I was able to connect with her. I would love to bring her back to our group because I think she can offer a lot, because we do work with a lot of teenagers who might be, we need to protect them. Mental health is suffering. That was a big part of our mission for this summit as well. Then we had Coach Maria. She talked about before labels, remembering who you really are, because labels become our identity. It becomes like a badge. She talked about that. Identity isn't defined by labels. It's revealed through connection and curiosity. When a child feels seen in who they are, confidence grows naturally. With safe mind soil, their identity can finally take root and flourish. It's what she shared with us on day 3. So in day 3, we started shifting into the alignment. Day 1 and 2 was majority of it was awareness, and day 3 started shifting into alignment. Next, we have Coach Tracy. She also couldn't be here. Again, Coach Maria also has her gift. I'm not sure if she still has it, but reach out to her. Her information is in the magazine. And the next is Coach Tracy. She talked about decode the storm, what behavior is actually telling you. So Coach Tracy showed that behavior is in defiance to be stopped, but communication to be decoded. Often the nervous system's way of saying, this is too much. Her message gave families the relief and clarity that storm isn't a problem, it's the signal. And when we listen with compassion instead of control, connection and learning become possible. So her presentation was very powerful in the fact that we are going to start really looking at behavior as a signal. So again, Tracy is a coach who's trained to be a Blocks to Flow coach as well. Reach out to her. I know she shared some gift, and her article is in our magazine, and she's on all socials as well. Next, we have Mary Beth, Coach Mary Beth. I don't think she's here, so I will speak for her. So hers was healing isn't linear, it's layered, messy, and it's yours, because that whole journey is yours. She reminded us that healing isn't linear, but cyclical, like a spiral staircase. I like her analogy a lot. Each return of old pain is not a failure, but an invitation to revisit it with the new wisdom. So pain you can revisit with new wisdom. Can you imagine what that does? It actually gives you learning, right? You will learn from that. And wisdom, tools, and strength. Her message showed families that resurfacing pain signals safety, not weakness, and that every cycle is another step towards wholeness and alignment, which is very powerful, because we think about the pain, we're going into the past and we're dwelling in the past. But she's saying that by resurfacing, the pain actually gives us, it's not a weakness, it's a strength. Again, she has contributed an article, and her information is in our magazine and in the journal as well. Next, we have Coach Amy. I know she is here, so I get to take a break from speaking because she's going to speak. So, what was your topic, and what did you share with our audience?
Hi, Kohila. So I talked about how parents carry this inner knowing within them all the time. My talk was called "You Knew All Along," trusting the knowing that was silenced. So we have been conditioned as a society to not pay attention to our own intuition and our own inner wisdom. So I think day 3 was really an important shift in our summit story, because it was a chance for us to notice those emotions that come up, with our keynote, that was so powerful. And the coaches who spoke right before me, Mary Beth especially, kind of got everybody to think about those emotions and that pain that comes up and how it affects how we present to the outside world, right? So what I wanted to do was to bring parents to that inner place and to shift into that inward and take a look at what was going on inside. And I talked a lot about how our emotions are, they're not problems, they're signals, it's information. And when we really pay attention to those signals and we can start to tune in to what the message is, then we can respond in a way that is better for ourselves, our children, and the people around us, and we can move through situations with grace and compassion, not just for the people around us, but for ourselves. And I think that's really, really important. We can ask ourselves, what is my body telling me right now? Because every emotion that we have has a physical sensation. Your emotions live in your body. So if we can tap into that, pay attention to that, and then ask ourselves, what is this telling me? And how can I use that information? Then we can start to connect it to our children as well. What is my child's behavior telling me? What is their nervous system doing? Are they picking up on their signals? Then we can start to get into that alignment, which is the key, the core of what I love to do, right? Bringing parents and children into alignment with each other, because that's where the flow begins. We can get back into that rhythm with each other. I talked a lot about how, as an educator and a parent, I have to walk both sides of that line. When I get phone calls for the principal about my child's behavior, which I do, and I have to go into those meetings, and you're sitting there in the heat of that meeting, you're dealing with these behavior struggles, daily parenting challenges, even, and you're in the middle of Target and your child's having a meltdown, and you think about what other people are thinking instead of checking in with what's true, what feels true. That's what I love to do, is help parents navigate that, and then connect with their children and find that alignment, so that then they can work together and flow.
Beautiful. Did you give some gifts away on that day? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I still have a 5-day deep dive into your inner world, your ecosystem, either for you or for your child, or for both of you. I love working with whole families. So I would love to do a 5-day deep dive into that inner ecosystem. Take a look at your emotional dashboard, as I call it, see what the lights are telling you, with those lighting up, like on your car dashboard. It's giving you information. Let's figure that out. And, if you have to deal with those meetings and school administration and all of that, I have lots of experience with that. And it's hard. It's hard work to do all of that. So I would love to help help any family who needs it, or just chat. If you have any questions, or just wondering, like, what it is we're really talking about here, reach out. I'd love to talk.
Awesome. Thank you. And her information is in the magazine, as well as she's on all socials. So
Yeah.
connect with her and ask her questions and grab her gift. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Amy. Thank you. Then we had on day 3, we had Coach Caitlin. She talked about what ends with you, breaking the cycle with love, not shame. So she talked about how she showed us that the patterns we carry are not personal failures, but inherited legacies, and that we what we inherit doesn't have to be what we pass on. So what we got from our parents and got passed down doesn't have to be what we pass on. Her message reminded families that shame repeats cycles, but love interrupts them. So shame repeats that cycle, but love interrupts them, creating space to repair relationship and leave a legacy of compassion. So she really talked about what is being passed down from a parent, and then how a child can carry that and how we can interrupt that. And she's not able to be here, of course. That's why I'm speaking for her. Again, I know she gave some gift. Reach out to Coach Caitlin. She has an article in the magazine, and I know she's on all socials. So most of our coaches are on all socials. You can just look up their name and you'll be able to find them. And she is certified as a Blocks to Flow coach as well. Next, we have Sarah, Coach Sarah. I don't think she's here today. Yeah, they all dedicated last week for us, so they have things this week. But Sarah was talking about come back home. The soft return to self was so beautiful. Just come back home. When she said, keep saying that phrase, I loved it. So in this session, the invitation was simple but profound. Healing begins when we stop performing and allow softness to lead. By choosing presence over perfection, we offer our nervous system and our children the safety to return home to themselves. And that was the whole purpose of the summit, is to bring you home, bring you to rooted in your purpose and who you are, and to your soul print. That was our whole summit. The mission was that, and her talk was amazing. Again, Sarah has an article. Coach Sarah has an article in the magazine, as well as she's on all socials. You can reach out to her, and she also has some gifts that she was offering to our audience. So that was day 3, where we actually started shifting into the alignment, from awareness of the first 2 days and then into the alignment. Then day 4, we had Dr. Miller with us. He was amazing in his talk, because he actually suffered brain damage. It was an injury, brain trauma, and he fully recovered, and he has become a doctor and serving others. That's what he does. So he's very passionate about what he does, and he made his pain into his purpose now. So he talked about the brain rescue, rebuilding the nervous system through consistency, care, and courage. That was his talk, and he is amazing. We're going to be bringing him to do some training for our coaches, because he has this brain gym where he was doing these activities. Sometimes these activities are good to make your left and right brain work together and work alone, and that's a good exercise for our kids. It's very important to have those left right brain working together and separately. So again, his information is in our magazine. You can contact him as well. Now we have Coach Yannick. She's here with us, so I get to rest my voice for a bit. So tell us, what was your talk about this day?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Kohila, for this opportunity to recap. And so, yeah, my talk was about restoring the rhythm within, going from that place of chaos to coherence. And it was just, was mostly giving a lot of tools, like many of the things we've heard that kind of interweave with each other, right? They kind of overlap. But this one was talking about just knowing that you do have a rhythm in your life, finding your place back to that rhythm, and knowing that when you do that, it can create a shift in your life, and that shift of going from that chaotic, overwhelming place to a place of safety, a place of peace, a place of where you can connect, right, with your kids, with others. And for kids would be, that place where they can learn, because if they are in that chaotic state, then it's really hard, right, for them to be able to be regulated and learn. So one of the things that I thought were one of the most important, or maybe powerful things that I shared, was that regulation is like putting out a fire. I did talk about the difference between the regulation and rhythm is not letting it spark in the first place, because you've built in those systems in your nervous system where you're preventing that to happen, from it happening in the first place. So rhythm is prevention, and it's having kind of like that steady beat in your life that helps kids feel safe before things start to spiral. So it allows parents and teachers and educators and caregivers to stop chasing the fires, to stop before they even go, and then get into that flow state. So our presence is the rhythm our children can borrow until they can find their own. And so that just means that we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be willing to bring them back to that steady beat, to that steady movement, whatever that is, one moment at a time. And the way that this connects, Kohila, to the Blocks to Flow journey is in the acceleration piece of the Blocks to Flow, because once families discover that rhythm and go back to that rhythm and are using it kind of in their daily life as a daily lifestyle, then they're no longer in that stuck reactive mode, and they're moving forward with that steady flow, steady beat, steady safety and peace in their life that carries them. So when we restore rhythm, we restore safety, and when we restore safety, then we know that learning and life can continue to flow in our lives and in our kids' lives.
Beautiful. Thank you, Coach Yannick. And did you give away something?
I did. I still do have a rhythm reset week left that people can sign up for through my email, and of course the information in the magazine. And I also have a free rhythm reset guide with different tools that you can use, throughout your day to teach your kids how to get back into rhythm.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Again, her information is in the magazine. I'm going to keep saying that. Better get that magazine. Sign up for that magazine.
Thank you,
Awesome. Thank you
Kohila.
so much for coming. Thank you. Next, we have our coach, Kat. Welcome.
Hi, Kohila. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Hello,
you for
everybody.
being here and taking your time. I think it's night for you, right?
Oh, it's not dark yet, but it is 7:00 at night here in France.
That's good. That's good. She is in France. So tell us, what was your talk all about?
Well, my talk was about safety before strategy and about how presence rewires everything. And I know we've already talked a little bit about presence, but I just want to go ahead and redefine this. It's not your physical presence, but it is that, but it's also being emotionally available, listening without interruptions and without judgment, calm, engaged, and open, right? That's what we mean by presence. And so that's why how presence is going to rewire everything. And in order to be present, we also have to, it's important to reconnect ourselves and regulate our systems, because in order for us to be calm and not judgmental and be able to engage with our children, our students, or other people around us, even our friends or family members, we have to bring that back down to calm, right? That also allows the energy in us and around us, because it's all around us, to be calm enough for people to feel safe to stay. It allows emotions to flow, and it also lets us help them regulate their nervous system. I also shared 2 insights that help us regulate during these healing moments, right? When things are heated, one thing that we need to remember is perhaps saying, don't react, reconnect, and then act. This means that when our buttons are being pushed or when there's overwhelm, you need to just take a moment to take a breath, reconnect. What does that mean? Reconnect with your values, who you want to be for this person, who would you want there to be for you in a situation like this, and then think of the best course of action. Then you act, right? And then the second piece of advice that I had given was to not worry about what you cannot control. That is to say that if you cannot do anything about it at that precise moment, then you don't carry it. You don't carry it with you into that room. You don't carry it with you in that moment with that person, in that interaction. And I had to share 2 ways that we could reconnect with ourselves and regulate. One that most coaches had talked about has to do with taking a slow, grounding breath, because that slows down our nervous system. It also slows down our heart rate, and it brings it mostly down to calm, right? The second way would be what I call stepping out of the spiral. And we notice that a lot of times when things are getting heated and there's overwhelm, that our emotions are in that spiral as well, right? So if we are able to take ourselves out of that and look at this issue objectively, even look at whatever it is that's bothering you and setting your nervous system into like fight or flight, and look at it objectively, asking yourself some questions with some curiosity, then you're able to step out of the spiral. And when you step out of the spiral, you're able to calm your nervous system as well, right? And that's really important because this is how we can help our children or our students or our friends who come to us and to regulate, right? To regulate their nervous system. And then I talked about how this session is actually part of the activation inside the Blocks to Flow program, because it shows parents and teachers and caregivers that by reconnecting with ourselves and regulating our nervous system, we create the safety needed for children, students, family, or friends for them to land. We become that person, our energy around us, the nervous system, right? So only when they feel safe with us in our calm and grounded energy are they able to show their emotion, and we're able to help them calm their nervous system. So
Beautiful.
That's how, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you share a gift?
I did. I do have one free 5-day deep dive coaching experience for anybody who wants to contact me, and we can chat about that, where we can uncover the challenges that are coming up and how we can use these methods or these ways to reconnect with ourselves and help others reconnect with what's going on.
Yeah. And the special thing about Coach Kat is that she can speak Spanish and French.
I can also do it in Spanish and French. So for cualquier persona que hable español, me pueden hablar y podemos platicar. Et si vous parlez français, c'est pareil. On peut avoir une conversation et aller de là.
This I envy because I can't do that. That just flows into each of those languages. And I forgot to say, Coach Yannick is also can do Spanish. And one of our other coach, MC, who came earlier, she can speak French. So we have multi, language here. So if you're bilingual, what are you? Or trilingual?
I'm trilingual, yes.
We are trilingual. So there you go. And, so we have all the languages here.
Children. So that's awesome too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, Coach Kat's information is in the magazine, in the journal, and also she's all on socials. So
right. And thank you for the opportunity, Kohila. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye.
I'm gonna bring right now our coach Lori, because I know she's got to go and coach a student, a family. So I'm gonna get her here because it's important I introduce her not just as coach, but she's also one of our team member, and she has been in the background of the summit helping me put together many things. There she is. You're muted.
I was just letting you introduce me. Thank you. I was letting you introduce me. Thank you.
Before you go, I know you have to be out to 10:32. Your commitment to serve the family that you work with, I want to bring you and thank you for making the summit possible and helping me as a team member. But she's also a coach. So, what was your topic on day 5?
Oh, well, thank you for jumping ahead. I appreciate that. My topic was really just about curiosity and replacing reactivity with wonder, being curious about your child, and the power of curiosity before correction. So I reminded viewers, I reminded whoever was watching, or if you're watching now, right, that we don't have to fix behavior, that we follow it. And when we do that with curiosity, it really changes and shifts perspectives and mindset. And I shared a story about a student that I was coaching that slammed the door, and the mom could have yelled and been reactive, but she chose to be curious and wondered. And that really got to the heart of the child coming out and saying, do you hear me? Do you see me? Do you love me? That's all I wanted you to notice when I was slamming the door. So that curiosity really shifts so many wonderful things and creates a beautiful dialogue that parents can have with their children. And I shared about a couple tools that parents can use, the traffic light that a lot of us coaches love, but really getting using that tool. I actually heard from a teacher friend of mine that said they immediately made one of those tools for their classroom to try to figure out, like, where's your nervous system, so that they can start to talk about that with their students this year in the coming school year, right? Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it red? Where are you? And for students that can't voice that, the talking about I notice and I wonder statements. So again, just any curious question you can ask your child before the reaction, right? That wonder, that curiosity before the reactivity is the key. So I just really wanted parents to understand that their child's meltdowns aren't defiance, that they're desperate attempts to be seen, and that curiosity is not a weakness. It's really a strength. And it says, the really, really key thing I want you to hear is it says, I see you, I'm learning about you, that's okay. We're figuring this out together. And that's where the transformation begins.
Beautiful. Thank you. And now I'm curious, did you give away something?
I did. I created something special for parents who want to go deeper in this work. It's a free 5-day Clarity Kickstart is what I was calling it. And I also have a PDF I've put up to help you if you also want some immediate help now on my website. And we'll just decode the specific rhythm, identify what's blocking connections in the family, and create a plan that actually fits the family's life, the child's life, the parent's life. Because really, curiosity begins with a roadmap, because it can be overwhelming to do this by yourself. So I'm here to help you if you would like that. So I have the PDF and I have the support with the Kickstart.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori, and thank you for being an amazing team member and a coach. Thank you. And Lori's information is...
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and all her information is also in the magazine.
In the magazine.
Parenting, Learning and Living magazine, which I will put the link. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Lori. Next, I want to bring our coach, Melissa. She's not here, so I will speak for her. I think she's not here. Yeah, she's not here today. So she talked about soft is strong. Nervous system healing starts here. Softness is not weakness, because we've been told that soft is weak, right? But she actually said it the opposite. It's the nervous system's language of safety. When we choose presence over pressure, we break cycles of fear and let connection lead was what she was talking about. It was very powerful to hear that a word that we've been conditioned to believe that its weakness now can be used as a strength. Isn't that amazing? So her, I think I'm sure she gave away some gift. So make sure to contact our coach Melissa, and her information is in the magazine as well as the journal. Thank you, Melissa. And if she can, she would have been here with us today. So we talked about on this day was very emotional for me because I had to break the silence of what's happening to our children, right? So I brought in a lot of examples on this day and the halfway point on day 4 to talk about what is really going on and when did we decide that kids are old enough to guide their own safety. And I asked this question, not blaming anybody, not blaming the parent, not pointing fingers at anyone, but just in the curiosity world, I was wanting to ask, our kids are with us for the first 18 years for the reason that we protect them, we provide them safety. Now, over the years, we have gone into a society that thinks kids know best, they can protect themselves, but we're leaving them to all sorts of unsafe environment, including online, or it could be offline too in many ways. So my question, with all the examples of kids who have died or who have been suffered or hurt, because as adults we're not taking this safety as a priority for our kids, and that's my question that day. Now we're gonna bring Vanessa, Coach Vanessa. I know she's here.
Hi, Kohila.
Hi, welcome back. So
Thank
what
you.
was your topic?
So my topic was express to release, the regulating power of creation. And one of the core reminders I offered was that you don't have to explain it to release it. You don't even have to understand it. You just have to let it move. And we often try to talk our way through stress, but sometimes the body just needs to move to make or to express. And that's where release begins. When release happens, regulation follows. And what I really wanted people to see is that expression isn't extra, it's essential. So whether it's scribbling or humming or dancing or going for a walk or listening to music, creativity gives voice to what words can't carry, and it helps the nervous system to breathe again. And so I want everybody to think, especially with music, think of a song that really moves you. It like pulls emotion through you. And so music is a really great way to express, to release. And I think about when I was a teenager and going through those kind of teenage angst moments and those years of my life where I just had this like energy in my body. There was one song I always listened to by Pearl Jam called Rearview Mirror, and I would just blast it and dance around my room. But it really helped to move that emotion through our body. And that's the purpose of expressing to release, is to move the emotion. So in the Blocks to Flow journey, this really connects to awareness and alignment, because expression is oxygen for our emotional roots. So when families are able to nurture it, they create the conditions for regulation, for resilience, and for the ability to rise strong together. So yeah, that was my talk, the regulating power of creation, and just finding what works for you, because the goal again is just to move that emotion through your body. And oftentimes it's music or art or just scribbling it out that really helps us to release that emotion and begin to regulate our nervous system.
Awesome. Thank you for coming back to wrap this up. So
Yeah.
did you give away something?
I did. I offered a Root to Rise creative regulation toolkit. And so if people email me, I'll send them the toolkit. But I'd also like to offer, a Get Rooted session for families too. So if you reach out to me, we can talk and chat and get rooted together.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you, Kohila. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Again, her information is also in the magazine.
In the magazine. Thank you.
Yes, and she's on all socials as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kohila.
Awesome. Next, we have our coach Trish. She's not able to be here today, so I'll be speaking on her behalf. Her talk was on holding more without breaking, expanding your safe zone. Children are not broken, lazy, or beyond hope. They are seeds waiting for the right soil, patience, and presence to grow. When we slow the pace, listen to their inner world, and guide them gently, they discover their own tools for success and begin to thrive. So her talk was very, very, very cool in finding this safe zone. So if you haven't listened to it, her talk is all of these coaches talks are on our Holistic Success Codes YouTube channel. You can watch them. All of the days are there and they're free. Just go there and watch it, and you will catch all of it. Here we're just kind of summarizing what happened. Again, she has an article, and she also is on all socials, so you can also DM her. I know for sure she also gave away something, so make sure to reach out to her if her topic and what she's talking about is something that you are going through right now. Next, we have Coach Kim, and I know she is here backstage. There she is. Welcome, Coach Kim. And I also want to introduce her because she is also part of our team, and she has helped me put this summit together in the back. So thank you. Thank you for helping me, and welcome. So what did you talk about?
Thanks. Well, I wanted to thank you for holding such a powerful space where nervous system safety, lived experience, and deep transformation could actually come together. So thank you for having this summit. Thank you for letting me be part of it. In my session, it was called Rebuilding Power, Why Micro Choices Lead to Major Change. I shared how the smallest of choices, just micro choices, offered with safety and intention can soften a child's nervous system and shift the entire relationship. So in my talk, I told the story of Ella, an overwhelmed 8-year-old who softened the moment she was given a choice. And that is the heart of what I believe, that choice isn't just about behavior, it's about identity, it's about safety, and it's about restoring power to both the child and the adult in the relationship. So what this summit reminded me, and hopefully reminded others as well, is that power doesn't have to be loud. It can be quiet and gentle and rooted. And every time we offer a child just a micro choice, we're not just building compliance, we're building trust, we're building connection, and we're building nervous system alignment, not just for them, but for ourselves as well. So this talk was an activation moment in our Blocks to Flow journey. It was a call for families to move from control to connection, because choice isn't a strategy to use, it's a signal. It's a signal to the child that says you're safe, your voice matters, and we can do this together. So thanks again for this space, Kohila. I had such a great time, and I hope that people got something out of my talk.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here. And did you offer something, Coach Kim?
I did. I offered a chance to get a free foundation series of coaching sessions for people to kickstart their flow. And I do still have one available. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, email or on my socials, check me out in the magazine or the journal, then I can offer that to someone.
Awesome. Thank you for your gift.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and being part of our team.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That was day 4. That was the end of day 4. So it was quite a lot. That's why we didn't end day 5, and it was in our last day, because we couldn't make it, because it was so much was said, so much was shared by all of our coaches. I needed the weekend, you needed the weekend, all of our coaches needed the weekend to really kind of let it settle, let that root kind of breathe in the new environment, because we came back to, being unrooted to that rooted surface, right? So that's why we're back today going over all of this. So I wanted to go over day 5. So day 5 was very powerful, but our keynote speaker was at the end, because I wanted to give something very powerful as a tool that we all have available to us, and we have never been taught to even really use it. It really calms us down. So our keynote speakers at the end, but we did have Victoria, Coach Victoria, who is a holistic wellness coach, came in, and she provided awesome tips and awesome ideas and how to it was a very good talk because Coach Kim talked about that micro choice, right? So in food and changing the way we live and how we take care of our body, we think it's all or nothing. That's why, we set these goals on January, and but before end of January, we all fall apart because we set them so big. That's not possible. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to eat none of this anymore. Those kind of changes, like when we make them so big, it's not easy to really maintain them. So then we blame ourselves and we say, I'm not capable. And then we fall back to our old rhythm. So she explained how it's important to make these little tiny changes, and same for your kids, because then you can buy their buy-in. And she explained about how it's important to drink water, choose where you shop and what you eat, and cut down on sugars and cereals in the morning, because if we're feeding them that kind of food, it's expected that they're going to have behaviors that are on the hyper side, right? And if we send them to school, they can't sit, they need to, and those food actually crashes them before the middle of the day, or even by 10 o'clock they'll crash, and that crash is not good for them. So she was explaining how we can do these little changes to get them eating better. Her information is also in our magazine. Please connect with her. She does offer holistic wellness coaching, which means that she looks at your food, she looks at how you sleep, how you take care of yourself in all aspects. She doesn't just look at one thing, because I think in order to change our body and how we feel, we have to look at it holistically. So check her out. I know she's on all socials as well, and I don't know if she gave away anything, but you can reach out to her and see what she has available. Next, we have our coach, Caitlin. I know she is here. I saw her before. There she is. Welcome.
Hello, Kohila.
Nice to have you again. So tell us, what was your topic was about?
So my topic was, you were never behind, you were becoming. And it's a reminder to parents, to people everywhere, that we're always becoming. We're always in that process. And the force or pressure to try to rush human development makes about as much sense as it makes to try to rush the growth of a tree, or to rip a seed out at its roots to be like, prove to me that you're growing. So, we talked about some examples of situations where the rush and the pressure has not been productive. If anything, it's been counterproductive to actual true intrinsic growth. And we really need to get away from this idea of we need to force our children and ourselves into these categories and these boxes. We need to shrink ourselves to fit, instead of looking at people as individuals, unique people with their own energy, their own gifts, and looking at how do we expand that instead of contracting it into a pre-made box or system. And the piece that I wanted to speak a little bit more to, so I'll take the opportunity here, is for parents, mentors, teachers to feel empowered. You can support without the pressure, without the force. There are action steps you can take. And we use the example of mind soil, right? So if a seed we weren't seeing the results that we wanted to see from a seed, we wouldn't be like, oh, the seed's broken. What's wrong with it? Let's label it or diagnose it or throw it out. We would look at, what are we providing? So when we look at our children, what are we providing to support their growth? What opportunities are we giving them for self-reflection? Opportunities to try different things. If they're shutting down, let's bring them out of their normal routine, out of their normal spaces, igniting curiosity, encouraging them to ask questions and asking them questions. So yes, it was a really exciting day. It was a really exciting week. I'm happy to be back right now as well. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about such important things, Kohila.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just your becoming is so powerful. So did you offer something to our audience on that day?
I did. And I have 3 spots left for 50% off of a 5-day discovery process where we'll look at what is the soil like for you or for your child right now. Are we squeezing ourselves into boxes, or are we growing and expanding and encouraging this intrinsic growth?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And Coach Caitlin's information is in the magazine, as well as she's on socials. Make sure to connect with her and get her free gifts. Thank you. So next we have Coach Stacy, and I know she is here. You're muted. The mute button.
I'm
There
so
we go.
sorry. I thought I'd been muted before I came in on the stage, but hello,
That's
everyone.
okay. Nice to have you back, and you made it in time, so that's awesome.
I did.
Yeah, she was at another interview, so glad to have you. So tell us what was your topic and your talk was about.
Well, I talked about being rooted and ready and how we need to rebuild self-trust from the ground up, but that we as parents or adults need to remember that self-confidence is not something that just explodes in us when someone tells us something good. That it is something that is like a garden, and it has to grow slowly and beautifully over time, and it has to be nourished and helped. And that as parents, we can help to nourish and give our children a chance to find themselves as we quietly trust them and just are present to hold a mirror up to who they are and what they're able to accomplish. And I think the main goal of my talk was to get people to see that confidence isn't about perfection or embracing perfection, that it's about finding that deep inner soul connection with ourselves that lets us know that we really are whole and that we are not broken and that we have the power to move forward in life. And I use the example of Celeste, who was a student who went through something really difficult, and how her mother guided, not with force, but with kind, holding her hand and just walking with her through the process of finding herself again after such loss and pain. And it was a really powerful experience. I think that when it comes to the blocks to flow method, this is definitely a section of awareness. You have to bring yourself to a state of awareness and understand that everything you really need to heal, everything that you really need to move forward is inside you already. You just have to slow down and quiet yourself so that you can look inward to find it.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So did you offer something as well?
I did. I have a 5-day confidence strategy session that I would love to share. I have a few of them left. So if someone is looking for some help with building confidence or finding their own confidence, I would love to sit down and chat with them.
Beautiful. Thank you. So they can find you in the magazine.
They can find me on the magazine. I'm on all of the socials. I am easy to find if you look for Stacy Griffin. So
yes, she's all over the social as well. So yes, she has an article and all her links are there. And yeah, just have a chat with her and see if what she's offering is the right fit for you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kohila.
Thank you. Awesome. Who's next? Let's see. Yes, Coach MC is here. She is the second MC on our whole group of coaches, and she also speaks French. That's another
Yes,
language.
I do. Oui, et je suis francophone.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us, what was your day 5 topic?
Well, my day 5 topic, the title is What Rhythms Can Do That Reminders Never Could. And my big thing was about the consistency of presence. So when parents and families come together in rhythm, and it's, like just small repeated moments that will create that the nervous system safety that every children need so that they can heal, so that they can thrive. And so my big thing was like, you don't need more like tools and strategies, and you don't need to be perfect parents. You just need to be the adults that will show up again and again. And it could be as well in schools, because we know that children, mostly the younger ones, they like routine and rhythm. Like when things go, and they know, we start the day with, like just sitting on the carpet or something like that, and they know what to expect, so they become settled, and they feel safe because they know what's coming up next. So when their nervous system can trust that with the rhythm, then the anxiety will tone down, the healing will start to grow and be possible. And so what happens is, like you get to unlock very powerful moments. And so that you can, as a parent or as a teacher, be able to manage the behavior a little bit better, not by trying to forcing it, but, instead by regulating your own rhythm, your own nervous system, and then your children will follow through, or your students will follow through in this rhythm of safety, and then they will be able to show up in their authentic self and be more ready, to follow through and to be in the journey. So when we're looking at the blocks to flow movements, so we have some alignment that are coming up, and then some activation that are coming up with, being present in and creating those little rhythm movements and moments of rhythm. So basically, when things are aligned with rhythm, then there's not a whole lot of effort needed, and families can find their rhythm together. I did mention and gave ideas of small actions or phrases that can be used as a family to create this rhythm. So it's in the article in the magazine, and like just how as a family you can find your own rhythm all together, and then things will come to alignment in a very natural way. And that's how the body will feel safe, the mind will be able to breathe. And then because I want really families and parents to remember is that you cannot think your way into alignment. You really have to feel your way, and that's going to become possible with predictable and consistent moments of rhythm. And so I did offer a 5-day clarity kickstart full system scan, and I still have 2 that are available where we can work together and we can see what's going on behind the patterns of your child or even yourself, and then find a natural rhythm, and then see what's the root cause of the challenges, and work together and co-create and customize a plan and something that would be able to function for your own family.
So put them back in rhythm.
Exactly. It's such a fast pace life right now, and we're always on the go, and we just need to find those moments, and just like become one again together as a family.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And all her information can be found in the magazine, in the journal. I just found the link here. One of our team member has put the link to our parenting, learning and living magazine.com. If you click that, you'll have access to both of those there, and you can use the journal as well. I strongly recommend you actually, all of you actually go through the journal, because there's a lot of information that will help you, and exercises and tools as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Next, we have Coach Tony. I know she is here backstage waiting patiently. You know how we are when we sign up, we want to go day 5 because it's the last day. But then when it's a recap like this, you got to wait for your turn all day. For the past hour, she's been patiently waiting here. So thank you. Thank you for coming back.
Kohila, I would have preferred to have had day one because listening to all of the other speakers was just amazing. It made it worse to go after everyone. I'm sitting here backstage listening to everything that the coaches are sharing, and I'm really struck by just the compassion that all of our speakers have had towards children, and the understanding that children are unique humans in their own with their unique needs for development. It's inspiring. And the free information that's available from the summit and the magazine is so valuable, and it is so needed right now. The crisis that we're in, I see it in my students, I see it in the children that I know, and it's so timely. And I just wanted to thank you for making this available to parents free of choice.
Thank you.
The other coaches have so clearly explained, and you've clearly explained, what the crisis is. And our coaches are talking about the causes of that crisis, what it's telling us about our children's behavior and how to respond to help them. And I'm just so thankful to be here among such passionate, well-informed coaches. And I think what we see, my talk was about leadership. And now more than ever, that's a challenge for families. Your children need you to be a leader in the family, but it's really difficult. There are so many other things vying for your child's attention, and some of them are designed very scientifically to take their attention away from you. And so the challenge of leading your child back to the roots, but they need you to lead them. They need to lead them back to the roots, back to family, and back home. I shared a story of a boy that started me on my 5A journey, though I didn't know that's what it was called back then. It was 25 years ago. I shared a story about a boy who I met in the hallway, and he was there all the time. He was in grade 5, and he'd spent most of his time in the hallway, and this was a result of a type of leadership that's based on control. He had all the rewards and consequences given to him, so much so that this became his identity. His identity was a bad kid, and hallway was his home. And when I met him, that didn't sit with me. I went inside myself instead of looking outside for people to help me. My curiosity and compassion and instinct told me that he didn't want to be there and I could maybe bring him back. And so I went on the journey with him, the awareness, finding out what he was all about, why he was there, aligning myself to what he could do, what he needed from me, and starting to lead him back and building connections with him. This is all about connection. Your child is looking to you for connection and positive connection. And he got that from me. And he really desperately wanted somebody to be good for. And so I slowly led him back. After the alignment, we started activation, tiny little mini goals. And at first he started doing those things because he wanted to do them for me because of our connection. But pretty soon, as he started going into acceleration and then into achievement, he was doing those things because he wanted to and because they made him feel good about himself. And it was just amazing to watch him blossom. And there was a transformation, a real transformation. And in some cases, Kohila, these transformations save lives.
Yes.
So what I want parents to remember, everyone has given you such great information about what your child's behavior means, how to respond, how to walk through this journey with them, how to lead them back. What I want you to remember is that biologically, your child wants to be good for you when they're connected. They want to. When you find those challenging moments, when your child is in meltdown or shut down or overwhelmed, remember that those are an opportunity to build really, really powerful connections. Remember that their behavior is a signal. It's not a willful act. It's a signal. It's a signal that somewhere there's a need that's unmet. And if you can look inside for your leadership, look inside to your own instinct, your own compassion, and your own love for your child and your knowledge of your child, and then look inside your child, not just at the surface behavior, but underneath. What is inside there? What is causing that behavior? What need isn't being met? And how can you, once they're calm, start walking them towards fulfilling that need? That's the leadership that they're looking for. And building those connections are going to make you the leader that they want to follow. You're not going to need the consequences and the punishments any longer. Those consequences and punishments break that precious connection between you and your child. And this boy that I shared, he was the start of my own 5A journey. Was I perfect back then? No, I didn't even know it was called a 5A journey back then. I wasn't perfect, but I was present. I was willing to listen and understand what was happening with him and work with him the way he needed to be worked with. and to be a safe space for him where he could trust himself and trust me. And I can tell you that over the last 25 years as a teacher, I have met hundreds of students like this. They're blocked, maybe because of overwhelm, safety, learning differences, neurodiversity, past family trauma. It can be many, many reasons. And I've worked with families, many, many families, dozens of families, and walked through this 5A journey. And I can tell you that it always works. It always works. And they're not always quick or fast. Some take longer than others, but when you stick with it, it always works. That transformation always comes. And it is never too late to start. Never too late.
It works because it works with the soul print, right? It expresses the soul.
And this is what we have always known. This is what parenting, this is what growth, this is what development is all about on a very natural level. And we've just been taken so far away with it, with ideas that haven't proven to work very well and certainly aren't working right now. So I'm very hopeful after this summit.
Absolutely. So did you give away something?
I did. So I offered a 5-day inner ecosystem exploration. And during this exploration, what I do is I will look and gently uncover what those blocks are with your child and your family. And then together we would co-create a plan to begin their 5A journey and your family's 5A journey, and perfect and polish all of those ways that you can reconnect and become the leader that's going to lead your family back home and back to the roots. And I've got 2 spots left. I think that I noticed a pattern. The coaches that went on the first few days have 1 spot left, and the Friday coaches have 2. But I do have 2 spots left, and my article's in the magazine. And you can also contact me on socials, on Facebook. I have email and also on LinkedIn. So, Kahila, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm leaving so hopeful and so impressed by all of the coaches and all of the speakers this time.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been a great experience. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who's next? Who remembers who's next? It was Lori, but she already went. That's a wrong guest, I guess. It's Alexa, Coach Alexa. You've been here since morning too, so thank you. Welcome. Hi. I know day 5 is always good, but at the end, it's kind of wait time, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's amazing to hear everyone's, and then hear the recaps have been wonderful as well.
So tell us about your talk on day 5.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to be near the end and be able to talk about choosing the return. That this isn't a fix. There's no such thing as a quick fix. That it's choosing to return and choosing to put the work in each day, like so many of our coaches have talked about. Also the mind soil. You know, we've had coaches talk about you can't just, a broken seed, but you also just can't throw a seed on the ground and expect it to grow. We have to prepare the soil and water it and tend to it. And it's the same with ourselves and our minds. And before, we can show up for our children, we have to show up for ourselves too. So it's important that we take these moments to step away and to ground ourselves, but always making sure to return, because that return means so much to our children, more than you know. Just being there, being present, even in those rough days, those tough days, especially those tough days, it means so much. I think, one thing that I would love people to leave with, that choosing the return, even in the mess, especially in those difficult and tough times, is leading your family back to that safety and leading them back to that grounded state. Something as small as just being there, being present.
Absolutely. Love that. Love that conversation. Did you give something away that day? I can't. My memories. Okay.
I did. Yeah. I have a few spots left for 5 free discovery days, where we'll kind of take a deep dive into what's kind of blocking your flow and how we can push forward to moving you into flow, and some practices that can help you and or your child breathe, step forward and help you feel more rooted.
Yes, absolutely. The only breath we have is right now, right? Yes. This is the one we have.
Absolutely.
That's all we can take. And we did a lot of breathing exercises, right? And so many different coaches brought in different type. But one of my all-time favorite is your daughter's.
Yes, her hot breathing, and
Yeah.
where we just blow it out. And
is that
I
the
love
name?
it.
Hot breathing?
That's
Is
what
that
I'm
we're
calling
calling
it lately, because that's what
Okay.
she calls it. She goes hot.
Okay, we shall name that hot breathing. So it goes, so it's a hot food, guys. So blow it out.
Yes.
So I like that one. I like that a lot. She created because she was watching her mom and her brother practice, and we are always co-regulating, and we are always modeling to our kids, so they are watching. And I don't know if you remember, Alexa, I brought that one of the poinsettia on day 5, and it was it was out of its soil. It was unrooted in the beginning, and then you saw how it was so dried, and it was like almost surviving, right, in the survival mode. And then I planted it, and I was expecting that it's going to take so long, so I went downstairs and I grabbed another one so that I can show that when a plant sits in it and rooted in its environment, and there's a proper soil and proper watering and proper light, that it really flourish, it's thriving. But before I knew it, I put the plant that I never uprooted beside it. The plant that I uprooted and then planted just started tilting. Branch started going that way because it was started co-regulating with the one that never got unrooted that day, right? And then one was going, but the whole plant then started shifting towards that plant. So by the end, it was starting to look healthy, even though I just planted it and it was very,
Wonderful.
So the plant has a lot of instinct, right?
Yes.
Intuition that they have, and they know where the grounded, the nervous system of that plant was providing a co-regulation for the other plant that I uprooted. So that's how our kids are. They read us, they watch us, they know when we're off. So we talked about how not to pretend, but to share that, right? I am not feeling well, it's okay, so that they don't think feeling okay feeling bad is a bad thing, right? Because sometimes we hide and pretend like everything should be fine all the time, but that's not true. No
let
one
them
is fine all the
see
time.
those rough times. Let them, see how you cope. And it's amazing to see the skills they gain from that.
Yes.
Even sometimes calling attention to when they're feeling sad, saying, I see that you're really frustrated right now.
Yes.
My kids are young, so doing things like that helps them bring awareness.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And did we talk about you giving away something yet?
Yes, and we did. And you can find all my information, like the other coaches, in the journal and the magazine. And I'm all over social, so please feel free to reach out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Next, I'd like to bring our keynote speaker. That was Kate Hedler, and she came in to teach us about the tapping exercise. And I have talked to her, and I'm going to have more conversation in having all of our coaches and the movement be part of the tapping. Tapping is so easy, it's so available all the time. We can just tap and release the tension, and it's part of the breathing. It's also your tapping on places that are very holds very tension. So if you start teaching that to your child when they are feeling a lot of tension, pressure, or behavior that feels like they're going to blow up or explode, now they have a tool, right? So I am all for it. Why? Because we have our fingers, right, hand, and we have all the parts right here, and we can do it anytime we want before bedtime. And her recommendation, Kate's recommendation, was that you set an alarm every hour and remind yourself to do it. And she said you don't even have to go through the whole sequence, even like one part, like even if you do this, you'll calm down. Do whatever you can, right? So she talked about micro moments, like Kim talked about micro choices. She talked about micro moments and taking that to tap yourself and releasing the tension. So our coaches will be trained in this, and anybody who's working in soon will have the tapping as part of it. We use it in our program, but none of them are trained yet, so I'm looking at that. So we were excited to have her close day 5. It was very important to close it with it. Now I want to bring you to our closure of this arc, the story that's being told throughout the 5 day of the summit. We began with a lot of awareness, right? Then a lot of coaches have spoke about alignment. Then we talked about activation, which is activating the system, which is the my system that I want to share with you. And I want to really share with you what those are. And these are not just random systems. These have been proven to work with thousands and thousands of students of all ages, adults, and have been tested by a neuroscientist. And this is the one that I was given as a gift on my deathbed when I survived my suicide. So we began this summit by naming the MC system, created the mass consumption, the control, pressure, and we all feel collapse, right? We feel like this unrooted generation. But we didn't end there. We made a story throughout. We traveled, we made a path, and we are here today at the end of day 5. Now, beyond that, we're here to close it all up today, right? So we end here in my system, where safety replaces fear, where rhythm replaces rush, presence replaces performance, and connection replaces control. I'm sure you have heard multiple times throughout each of those days how many times our coaches have mentioned these words again and again and again throughout the whole presentation, because this is what they're all about. All of our coaches who are trained in the blocks to flow and holistic, as a holistic neurogrowth learning success coaches, they provide that. So here is our my system. These are the systems. There is the systems at the root level, then there's the trunk, and there's the branches, and there is the blossom. Each level has different systems that are helping us or blocking us, that are in flow or that are blocking us. That's why as we grow up, as we get into more and more experiences, we are pushed to perform, being controlled, being what we consume. All of this creates block, not just for us, but our children. So when we're able to pinpoint where the block is, and then when we're able to align and activate, we can then enter acceleration. Now, the problem with our current system, we assume everybody is in acceleration, but we're not. Maybe some people are, but majority of the people are not, because throughout our lifetime we become blocked by the MC system, and then we forget our my systems that I'm talking here. So that's why our coaches take the time to go through what is not in alignment and bring awareness and what is not in alignment, so that those systems can be activated, so that then you can become in acceleration. Now, anything in acceleration will continue to accelerate. Only thing you need is the tools and the strategies. That's when our coaches bring the tools and strategies to help your child or yourself, master whatever you're trying to master. Until then, there's no need for tools and strategies, because it's not going to work. That's why masking with more tools, more strategies does not work ever, because you got to be in flow. Only in flow, then someone can focus, and then we can have the return of the attention that we need in order to succeed. So this is the pivot from the system that fracture us to the system that free us. That is what my system is all about. MY system is all about. The old story ends in burnout. The new story begins in flow. Together, we are not just breaking cycles. We are building a new system, one nervous system, one family, one future at a time. That's our mission. And we, as a holistic neurogrowth coaching family, we want to help 1.5 million families by 2035. So that's why all of our coaches are very passionate. That's why they dedicated hours to provide these talks to you and bring this to you. And today they're here to present all of this one more time so that we can bring it all together. As I was mentioning throughout the whole presentation, you can find all their articles, all their information in our magazine. This magazine, every other month, it's a bi-monthly magazine. It's free. It's filled with all of our coaches. There's always somebody we bring in to feature the story, but everything else, it's got a theme, and it always has all the articles by our coaches. So you can grab this article every other month. We already have 6 now, our 7th issue. Our next one is October. It will be a special edition for our October event in Scottsdale, Arizona. So you can grab this. This is the link. We will have that pinned to this video as well. The next thing I want to talk about is the upcoming book, the Blocks to Flow book. You will read some of the stories of our coaches in this book. I'm going to be including that. It's going to be launched before October event in Scottsdale, and you will get a free book when you attend that event. I will sign those books and give it to people who are there. This event that I'm talking about, that event is for parents, October 18th, 2025. It's called Parenting in Flow. The other book that I have here, it's called Cracking the Parenting Codes. That's a book I wrote a year ago to bring attention to what we need to go back and ground ourselves as a parents, because the parenting in this era, in this moment in our life, is hard. It's okay to say that. It's hard. If I was a parent right now, I will also find it hard. Why? Things have changed. There's no reference to what you're going through. So that's why we're here to help you in that journey. There's a lot of free resources. The magazine is a huge resources for parents. All of these coaches are giving free coaching sessions. Those are huge resources for you. So don't do it alone. Don't think you're alone. It's not you. That's our message as well. It's not you. It's just the place we live in. It's just the world we live in. It's changed. You can't even go back to your parents to ask for help because they didn't grow up in this era. So that's why it's different. So those two are books that Cracking the Parenting Codes is on Amazon. You can grab that there. And the other one is not launched. It'll launch before October. Now, we have hundreds of coaches who are now certified, either as holistic neurogrowth learning success coaches or also as Blocks to Flow coaches using the method and system. We have a custom AI that customizes to every learner, that is personalized to no other method out in the world. We are the first one to have it. So this customization allows us to look beyond any labels. All of our coaches are trained to look beyond all labels. That means that even if your child is diagnosed with labels, we actually start from a place of who they are. What is their soul print telling us? We want to get to who they are without the label. And then when do we use any of the label language or whatever they've been diagnosed, or bring it into our coaching, is when they're in acceleration. Until then, we don't need to look at them with the label. We don't need a filter to look at them through that. We just look at who they are as a human first, and who they are as a soul first. That's what our coaches are trained to take you and your family and your child through the 5A system, through the 12 systems, my systems, so that you can see where the blocks are, where you can find flow, so that you can achieve whatever you desire or your child desires. That's what our coaches are trained for. Where do you find them? They're going to be listed. We just did a rebranding, so all of our coaches will be listed on our website soon in the next few weeks. But they're in our magazine. All of them are in our magazine this month. 30 of them are in our magazine. Not all, but 30 of them are in our magazine. And that's how. Or reach out to me, and I will share and connect you with the right coach, because some coaches specialize in other areas and others don't. So I can connect you as well. So that's how you can really get the help you need. And I also want to say, at this time, you might be thinking, is this tutoring? No, because tutoring is when your child is struggling in a subject. That means that they're already in flow. That means they're already accelerating. We just need to give them the content help. So we can offer that, but only when they're in flow and in acceleration, not when they're blocked. So we don't do it without the prerequisites, right? So our coaches prepare them and prepare the mind soil and build that before we can build the content. Now, are we therapists or counselors? No. Therapists are doing their job to look at where did the pain originated, why does the person feel the pain, and discover the root causes of it. For our coaches, it's about now. You're a person now, you're a child now, you're a mom or a dad now, you're not able to do and take some actions. So that means you're blocked, which means that where are you blocked? How can I get you to flow? That is our ultimate question and goal. When we figure out where the block is, then we can walk the path with you to get you to flow. And when anyone is in flow, they can achieve anything. The achievement is undeniable. It's available to anyone and everyone. That's why, as a holistic neurogrowth family of coaches, we believe that anyone can succeed. Anyone can succeed if they have the right mind soil, the right guidance, and who is able to provide the missing links. And that's exactly what our coaches provide. Now, if you're interested in become a certified coach, you can do that as well. You can DM me. You can find me on all socials, and we can talk about it. I will provide all the information towards that. Or you just want to, parent or lead. You don't want to start a business, or you don't want to be certified. You just want to explore what the foundation of the Flow Foundation looks like. We have a program for that as well called Flow Foundation. You can then use that in your life to lead and live and learn in flow. So those are things that it is available through our company. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is our paid forward coaching. This is our coaching program where we offer free coaching to families and students who needs this. So if you know a family or someone you think will use this program, please use our information to connect with me so that no child or no human is left behind. That's why we created this. We have amazing coaches and we can help any family. We don't want money or resources to be the reason they don't get the help they need. We want to stand beside all families and all children, all human. So if you know a family, reach out to us, and we do have that link in the journal. I provided that link in the journal if you can look for that. So that's it. I think that's all I had for today. Yeah, that's it. But I do have a few coaches here. I'll bring them up. Who's here? Only MC is with me. Awesome. So how was it? How were the 5 days in the recap?
Oh gosh, it was amazing. It was amazing to listen to everyone and just like bring everything to the surface and just go through all the different phases. And I think that every single day had a very special message, a very strong message. And I really think that, sorry, I have a raspy voice, that families really need to take the time to go and rewatch or watch the replays and check the magazine. Like, it's amazing that this is out there, like Tony was saying earlier. Hi, Tony. That like it's just out, it's out there, and it was free, like, and it's just like maybe not every talk is going to connect with all the families, but they will get something out of it for sure. And yes, it was very powerful.
And lots of free resources, lots of free gifts. So take advantage of this free gifts because they are giving from their heart, all of our coaches. So Tony, how has these 5 days plus this 6 day, plus this
a little,
bonus day.
a little scary, but incredible. I'm just really honored to be among such a passionate group of people that's trying to do what kids need right now. It's very timely and it's very needed. And I'm just so thankful to see how much this movement is growing and the information getting out there. I think it's things that parents really need to know. So
amazing. Thank you for being part of it. Stacey, how about yourself? Did you enjoy day 6?
I love day 6. I was so happy to be here. Any time I get to spend with the people on this screen and all the people behind the screen, is just pure joy. I love it. People that we work with are so good. And they, as Tony mentioned, they really love to take care of the people in need. So there's no shame in needing help. And the people who I work with, these coaches and Kohila, are the best of people. I consider myself deeply blessed.
Thank you. Thank you. Ruth, you're back.
Yes,
You heard us wrapping up,
yes,
finishing
I was
up.
watching
Tell
on
us.
YouTube.
Come join us. Tell us, how has it been for you going through this whole MC system to MY system, so I have control and I can be in flow finally?
You know, it's something I always felt in my soul years ago when my kids were in school. I just didn't have the words or the tools to help them, or help, like neighborhood kids. This is exactly how we need to help kids, period. And I've always felt so strongly about it. And unfortunately, it's the system. It's not teachers. I come from a long line of teachers. You're all are teachers. I went to teach and I went into business instead, because I wouldn't make any money as a teacher because I'd give everything away, right? But I know, and you laugh because you know it's true. But I know, and I've known from the beginning, this is how not all kids, because of my personal experience with my son, learn the same way. And, it's that fast food. I mean, I was talking to a friend and I laughed because I'm a lot older than all of you. But I remember I was so excited. This is how sick I was, that I could throw a Happy Meal in the back seat for my kids because we were in such a hurry. Right. And that was kind of the mentality that we were raised with: quicker, faster, hurry, 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 hurry. And now our kiddos are shutting down. So that mech whatever isn't working. And I think we've seen it not work for decades, really. If we really look back, it's been decades. So this is just transformative, and I'm excited. I can't stop talking about it. If anybody's watching my Facebook post, I'm posting all the time about it because I'm like, oh, aha, right? And I've had parents reach out because they're like, oh, you too. So it's not that we're trying to cram our coaching down your throat. We just know that it's working for kids. And, maybe we're not a fit for you. That's okay. But not to at least try or reach out to one of us just to see. It's not going to hurt you to talk to us. It's free, right? It's free to give us a chat. But to see transformation. And Tony's story hit home because it reminded me of a story my mother told years ago in her first third grade class. It was very similar to Tony's. And that has always hit home to me, but yet the system, I think that's why as a parent walking through the schools to see kids sitting in the hallways literally sends me into orbit. I'm glad I have the breathing techniques now because I won't be like, what are you doing in the hallway? Blah, 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 blah. Because those are the kids that we need to connect with. The quiet kids. So I know I'm babbling a lot, you guys, but I'm excited. I am so excited because we finally have a place, and there is nothing out there. I have looked for decades for my children and for my grandchildren, and there is nothing out there like this. And it's not in place of your kids going to school. If that's a choice, that's your choice. It's a layering thing. It's to help your kiddos in school, right? So you don't get those phone calls. You don't have that stress. You're not in tears for homework. So that's why I apologize for taking all this time, but I'm so excited about it. I want people to come on, just reach out to any of us. We don't care which one, just reach out because we know your child's going to benefit.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the excitement. I do believe it because I think we're asking a living system, which we all are, right? Living 24/7 breathing system right here, to perform as we're ready to perform. It's a car can't perform if the tires are broken, the engine's broken, everything is broken. You say go, 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 and you press on the pedal. Yeah, great, press on the pedal, but it's not gonna go nowhere. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's gonna be stuck, right? So there's no point in putting more fuel and pushing the pedal, keep pushing it and thinking, what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong. It's just has parts and things are not in service yet. So that's exactly what we do, is find those prerequisites to learning, living, and leading, and really guide you from the sideline so that you can take that journey and find your path, find your flow. And when you have flow, that's what we've been talking about all week, is that when an adult in the life has flow, that really transcend into the whole family, to your child. They really passes. They can really co-regulate with you. And that was the most important message here to all of the parents, all of the educators. That was what we wanted to bring. And I think we accomplished it. And I could say that with full heart. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of you, for making this happen. Thank you for all the coaches. I cannot tell you the amount of time they invested, the amount of time they started questioning, am I ready for this? But they showed up, right? It's true, because every time we present, we all ask, right? I did too. Am I ready for this? But we still showed up, and we showed up with the fear, and we used it as a fuel to serve you. So we're ready for you. So join us, find us in the magazine. But what we're really excited about is the October event in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's going to be epic. It's for parents. We're going to have one day. We're going to take care of you. You come with any blocks, you leave, exit the building in flow, skipping and walking in a different speed and momentum. I promise you that you'll have different energy when you leave that building. We
And
will guarantee
we'll
you that.
skip with you. We'll even skip with you. I'm committing all of you guys to skipping too. And I don't know how to skip, but we'll skip with you. Absolutely.
Exactly. And there might be some swings part of it too. So we invite you. And I don't have all the details yet. I will provide to you on all socials. So catch us on that and meet us in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that's happening in October 18th, 2025. And then our next summit is February 2026. And we are planning what that will be like. It's going to be always different, but we're going to be talking about flow, because in life, without flow, there is no life. It's struggle, right? Flow is everything. So thank you. Thank you for all of your support. And we will see you in the next summit on October 18th in person. Thank you.
See you in October.
Thank you, Karila.
See you in October.
Thank you.